Mrs. India Galaxy 2024 is contestant number 25, Rinima Borah Agarwal. The new Mrs. India Galaxy 2024, Rinima Borah Agarwal. Congratulations.
Bad bitches in a beamer, that's a big deal. Chrome heart got me kissing on his best friend. Put in work, baby, you could be my best man. Sending cash to my account, he investing.
You guys, we finally did it. Look at this. We won Mrs. India Galaxy 2024. I know if you have been following me, you have seen all the excitement and journey on Instagram. But today, I want to share with you what happened next. The roller coaster of emotions and the journey after that win. Because honestly, pageantry is no joke. Competing against incredible women, barely sleeping, standing for hours on 6-inch heels. Oh God, it's intense. And by the end, after 10 days of non-stop competition, when I finally held this crown, my first thought was pure exhaustion. I was so sick, I was running high fever on stage, and all I wanted was to collapse in a bed between my husband and my nephew, which I, by the way, did. The celebration would have to wait, you know. But once I recovered a little after coming back to Bangalore, I kept thinking, how do I celebrate this win? A year of intense fitness, losing 18 kgs, studying for hours, giving up almost everything I loved. And I considered just throwing a party here first, inviting friends, celebrate. But somehow my heart kept pulling me back home, back to my mom and my sister in Assam. Because, you know, they have been such big supporters. They always believed in my dream, even when I almost gave up. So this win somehow meant more to both of them than it did to me. So we packed up, Gautam and I, and off we went to my little village in Assam. It's called Sarubhagya. Remember that village. I mean, we arrived early. It was the 5th of November. We arrived early around 3:30 p.m. and my sister insisted that I couldn't come home until 5 p.m. because she was planning this whole big surprise. And after waiting in the car for almost 2 hours, we finally pulled up to see the whole house decked out in lights. It was glowing from every corner. It was all my sister who did it. My house isn't a big house, but you know, it was filled with love and pride, and my whole family, half my village, around 150 people, and few local press from the village, all there to welcome me. You know, their girl from this small town was now representing India, and it was overwhelming, I'll tell you that.
ধন্যবাদ আপোনালোক যে আহিছে মোৰ ঘৰলৈ ইমান দেৰিকে থেংক ইউ দে দাদাহঁত মই সবকে লগ পাম অকলে অকলে সকলোকৰ লগতে কথা পাতিম প্ৰথমতে মাক অকণমান ইম্পৰ্টেঞ্চটো দি লওঁ হ'বনে ঠিক আছে থেংক ইউ মানাই This is our tradition.
And the pride my mom and my sister showed, I honestly cannot put it into words if I have to tell you. My sister had this whole surprise setup. The moment I walked in, she played that exact clip from the competition where they announced the new Mrs. India Galaxy 2024 is Rinima Borah Agarwal. And I remember not being able to hold myself and just crying like a baby. happiest mother on earth at that point. She hugged me tight, and I felt the years of hard work, the sacrifices and the pain that she has been through and I have been through as well. Everything was worth it for this exact moment, you know. I knelt down and I put this crown on my dad's picture because I feel like I wanted to honor the man who had shaped me into the person I am today, and I bloody missed him. He wasn't there, but I know that he would be the proudest, and he is from wherever he's seeing. And the press was there. And I was finally having that the paparazzi moment I had always dreamt of. Trust me, I always wanted it, by the way. No shame in that. And I was speaking in Assamese, making sure to greet each press member respectfully. I was checking in on them, if their hands were hurting, if they ate or not. You know, it was important to me because after everything, I still felt like that same girl from Assam, you know, no airs or attitude.
ঘৰত সদায় হাজবেণ্ডক পাওঁ, মাৰ লগত ফোনত কথা পাতোঁ, যিমানখিনি মা বায়ে আৰু হাজবেণ্ডে ছাপোৰ্ট দিছে, মই বহুত লাকি আচলতে ছোৱালীজনী, কাৰণ এজনৰ যদি ছাপোৰ্ট নাপাকিলেতো মই নোৱাৰিলোঁহেঁতেন ইমানখিনি আগবাঢ়িব, গতিকে মই অশেষ ধন্যবাদ আৰু সদায় এইটো ভাল পাওঁ।
As they put those, you know, all the ladies kept putting those gamusa around my neck, one after another, it struck me that they saw me for who I was, you know, the same girl, time at 16. The only difference was that I was returning with a crown and a little more life experience. And, you know, and I have to tell you, I always wanted to be in the glamour industry, and I don't want to lie about it. I dreamt of being a model, and then I dreamt of being a Balaji, a Bahu, like, you know, like Kiki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi. I thought, oh God, you know, I dreamt of being in Bollywood. All of that dreams were definitely there to finally just see people just putting so many microphones and things in front of me and asking me questions, and just felt amazing. We did all the press interviews. I remember thanking each one of them. I remember there were a few journalists who has done so well for my village and for that town that I knelt down. I put gamusa back on them, and I thanked them for their journalism because I know the power of good journalism. And I wasn't saying this because they were capturing me. I said that because I knew the good work that they truly were doing in my village and in my state at that point, you know. But the night ended pretty nice and easy. I met each 100 and 150 people. And if you see these videos, you will see this point where, you know, while all the ladies of my village were putting all the I kind of have to wear the crown back, okay? I don't know, I'm missing the crown. Someone, please, come on. Guys, I have to return this in 1 hour to my successor, so I might as well use this as much as I can. And I also look pretty, right? So yeah, I remember each of those women, they were putting the gamusa, and I remember each one of their names, and I remember the relationships I called them with. I'm like, oh, hi Kuri, hi Mahi, hi Pehi.
Thank you, Kuri.
And I was like, how are your kids? And they're like, wait, you remember us and the name of our kids? I'm like, dude, of course. Like, I grew up with you all. What is this whole drama about me? Oh, who are you? I mean, I just don't believe in being a person like that. Maybe some enjoys that, and each to their own. But I personally, I think I'm a pretty simple girl, yo. Like, and the environment made me even more humbler and even more simpler, because if you go to a small village or a small town, you will see the simplicity in people. And among such simple people, you don't want to like be that. That maybe in New York, or maybe in Bangalore at times, definitely in Delhi, but not in my Sorbagya, Jaklabandha, Assam. But yeah, we ended the night with like everyone left around 9:30, 10, and mom's Chan, my sister Gautam and I had a beautiful Assamese dinner, and we went to sleep because the next day was important too. I was organizing this. I arranged this lunch with 35 people. All of these were my first cousins. And these are people I grew up with, who saw me in chaddis, who saw me in like disgusting haircuts, who have seen me in oily hair. So that's what we did. We went to sleep, and next day afternoon, we booked a restaurant pretty close to my house in Jaklabandha, that is our closest town, and off we went, the cousins, the uncles, the aunts, and there was buffet and everything, and I was just telling them the entire story of what pageantry was like and all the bullying that I went through there and all the bitchiness of other women. Some of them were really, really, really mean to me. So I kind of told all those stories, and you could see them all like each year to me, you know, and that's what family is. I didn't have to demand for attention. They all kept coming close, and they kept hearing my stories. We danced Bihu, we danced Jhumur, which is a very tribal dance of tea estates in Assam. And then we did this other Ras dance, Ras Leela dance, which is also very common in our village and everything, in the whole of Assam actually, not in the city area, but all the village parts. And I think one of the special moments was, you know, Deepa auntie, who is like my second mom, and she was my first fashion influence. Like she always was the one who had amazing nails and lipsticks and blow-dried hair and everything. And just to see her come over I put the crown on her basically because I feel like she deserved a bit of the crown, like how my mom and my sister and my dad and Gautam deserves it. Maybe Gautam, not the crown. Gautam deserves my love, but the crown a little bit with mom and aunt and everybody. So just the best moments ever. I cried with them, I laughed with them, I danced with them, and I got so tired that I started getting temperature because my body was still recovering from all the exertion in the pageant. And I had to come back to Guwahati because I wanted to spend that night in Guwahati just in a hotel room, not talking to anybody, just Gautam and I. And the next day, the plan was that early morning we drive down to Shillong, Meghalaya, which is about 3.5 hours from Guwahati. But hang on, things didn't go the way we planned, and I'll tell you just in a bit. So we went, we checked ourselves in Taj in Guwahati, we had a great night's sleep, and next day morning I got ready for Shillong. I wore this beautiful black blazer, my Jimmy Choo boots, all ready for Shillong because it was cold. And my sister calls me and she's like, Mamwan, that's what she calls me. I'm like, yeah, Jan, what's up? She's like, babe, you're viral. I'm like, what? Me, viral? Because none of the city reporters came to shoot me. It was just my village reporters. So Ashish Dada, which is one of our local reporters, and Ashish Da, I am grateful to you for the rest of my life. While I'm grateful to each journalist and each editor and each production team and everyone, but this guy, in our local news Facebook channel, posted that homecoming video, and that within 12 hours got 1.5 million views. And that got caught up by other news channels, and everyone started sharing them in their page, and somewhere it was 2 million, somewhere it was 3 million, somewhere, you know. So I was viral, and then I was now getting calls because all the reporters, the city reporters started calling the village reporters. They kept giving my mom's number, mom gave my number, and all of a sudden I was getting calls from all news channels, maybe not all, leaving one, I'll not name which one. But most of the news channels started calling me for talk shows. And I'm like, wait, but I have to go to Shillong. But Gautam was like, no, Rini, I think you should do these talk shows because it's your moment, and I think you should just do it. I remember I was having brunch in Taj and my hands were shaking because I also do have anxiety and I did not know what was coming my way because fame can be dangerous too, and I just really did not know what was coming my way. And off I went with my very first talk show. I think this was for NKTV, and this lady, journalist called Angela. And by now, when she started talking to me, I realized that the reason I went viral was because Assam loved me for apparently being simple, for being authentic, for not having an air about me. And they felt that I did not carry the weight of the crown, which I always was, right? And it was just amazing to see. Because I feel today, in today's world, what makes you viral, right? I mean, you can put up as many content as you want, which I have been doing, by the way. I've been dying and trying to be viral for this last bloody 4 years. Spend so much money on Instagram and YouTube, hoping that I go viral, hoping that they see this me, the real me. But it didn't happen. I think it has a time for everything because it's people who decides. That's what it's always been. And the people decided. And when the first reporter was speaking with me saying that, oh my God, we are today here with this lady who has gone viral and people have loved her modesty, her humility, her language, her intellectuality. And then, you know, by then I was viral for my simplicity, for my modesty, for my humility, and for my respect towards everyone. But when I started giving these talk shows, I first did it in ND24, then I moved on to I think NKTV, then I headed over for a podcast, and then I did Prague News, then I did Times 8, then I did, oh God, I just have lost count, I'm telling you. It was back to back to back. And those videos kept getting even more viral because by now people started telling that, oh shit, she's beauty with brains and she's so intellectual, she's so well-read, she's so motivational. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? Because the next day I'm leaving, the next night. So that entire day I was supposed to go to Shillong. I did everything that I possibly could. The next day, the plan was that, oh, but before I go there, I have to tell you. So right after I won Mrs. India, and I had those 4 nights in Bangalore before I took off to Assam, I remember writing to umpteen number of journalists in Assam saying that, hey guys, I won Mrs. Galaxy. Do you think you want to cover me? Do you think you want to share this in your news? And nobody, bro. No one gave a damn. I didn't even get a response back. And people were asking for paid media. Like they were like, you pay, we will go ahead and do it. And I'm like, no man, it sounds shady. I don't want to do paid media. And guess what? I was called by each of these news channels after that viral video. Man, it's just seriously, universe and God has a way. The next day though was important for me, the third day and second day in Guwahati. I was like, okay, I had to visit this NGO, which I again, right after I won Mrs. India Galaxy, I researched to see which NGO I wanted to associate myself with, and I found this amazing NGO that resonated with my personal mission, which was the empowerment of rural women, because I am a rural woman from Assam and I knew how English opened doors for me. And I reached out to this NGO, and I wasn't viral at the time, but they still said, okay, yeah, great, we will collaborate, come over, we will meet. And by now I'm viral, and I go to this NGO and you can see the clips. They had this whole banner of me, and dude, they organized this whole welcome, and there was press meets, and I was again overwhelmed. I mean, the more I was spending time in Guwahati, the more I was just starting to accept that, oh my God, wait, Rinima, things are changing. Like, people are accepting you, and people are liking you, and people love you, I think. I mean, there was of course a little amount of hate, but there was more love. And I remember sitting with the director of the NGO and telling him like how my journey has been, and he just said that, well, we have heard everything on the news and you seem like an interesting person. And I'm like, well, I don't know about interesting, but I'll tell you that I'm a pretty dedicated person and I'm sincere enough to do giving back to the society, So we spoke about future plans, and I will tell you what I'm planning as well. Like, my immediate goal right now is to help women in rural Assam. I want to start off a pilot batch in one village, in one of the government schools, starting off with my own village, where I want to introduce vocational English training by first language English speakers through online Zoom training, start off from preliminary to elementary to middle school to high school to senior high, so that by the time someone finishes their 10th or their 12th, they are fluent in English. So they can then apply for any college that they want to, any scholarships that they want to, and they basically have more information. And they're not just bounded to whatever limitations or whatever little English that they know, because I feel English is a global language, and not knowing it at this point in time can be just dangerous, and there are only few jobs in Assam. So knowing English just helps you with employment and whatnot. And apart from that, I think the next thing was domestic violence, because I am a domestic violence survivor. I have endured domestic violence by 3 different men in a span of 3 relationships for 15 years. And I just don't want any woman to endure something like that for that long. And that's a future plan. I will talk to you guys about that later. But these are the 2 major missions that I have. Rural empowerment for women, and that is the NGO that I signed up with. And what beautiful moment each one of those ladies took. I could see them, they were inspired by me, and that just meant the world to me. And they were taking selfies with me. I showed them what a ramp walk is like, what an S pose is like, what a T pose is like. And that was quite a moment. But then I remember Gautam, my husband, rushing me that, Rini, you have another news interview. He felt like a manager at that point. Like, I didn't have a manager my whole life. And he was like, you have to rush. Grateful to the husband as well, by the way. He has been such a great support. And off I went to do more interviews. So I went to Starbucks to pee, and then there was these 2 ladies, and they're like, oh my God, you're Rinima, right? You're seeing you all over the news. And they came to pictures with me, and I'm like, oh my God, it's bloody happening. It is happening. All that I wanted, it was happening. It's just crazy. But all of this, and I spent the last few hours, till the last second, I couldn't say no to any news channel, by the way. I was told to say, oh, Rinima, put up your price. Don't say yes to it. I said, hell no, bro. This is Assam. This is my home. And doesn't matter how big or how small the news channel was, I'm going to say yes to everyone who is calling me. And I'm going to be bloody so honest. And I'm going to be bloody so authentic, because I think that's me. And I wasn't going to, and I kept telling myself consciously, Rinima, this crown shouldn't change you, because you got this crown for who you are. And if you now change, it's going to lose its essence. And that's what I did. And that's what I hope to continue doing for the rest of my life, you guys. So, before I go away, I had to tell you the moral of the story, right? I think this whole journey, I believe, from winning Mrs. India Galaxy to the homecoming in Assam, I think reminded me of one thing, you guys. The power of being true to yourself. And I know whoever has been with me in my YouTube, you guys will resonate with what I'm saying, because I have been through hell and back, yo. But I'm grateful for every part of it, because it's made me who I am, and I hold no hate and no resentment. So to everyone who supported me, including you guys, thank you. And to my beloved Assam, you have given me strength and a purpose. Haters will hate, but they can't shake the mission that's driving me. Joy Ayahom and Jai Hind, you guys. Let's bring the Mrs. Galaxy 2025 crown home, and I will see you guys on more and more vlogs. We are now 12K, you guys. So we're gonna keep bringing in that content, and I swear to God, I will never change, and I will remain the person I am. Now show me more love, bring in subscribers, and tell me how pretty I look at the crown. Love you. This one's for you guys, I'm keeping it here. Enjoy it.